Whew, man, after surviving 2 hurricanes and illness. Oh man, I think my voice is coming back now. So, hey, let's make a video and let's see what's out there on the internet well, here's one on Star Trek. Actually, I heard Gary at Nerdrotic talking about this, and he seemed really upset. Gee, I wonder why. Well, let's read some Star Trek news. Oh boy, that'll make me feel better, won't it? Let's see here. Oh God. Star Trek Discovery jumps past Canon into strange new worlds. Does it? It never really started with Canon, did it? It couldn't even maintain its own continuity. Oh boy. Anyway, by jumping 930 years into the future, Discovery gets out of the constraints of previous Star Trek series, and at the same time gives itself a shot in the arm. But if it's so great, it wouldn't need one, would it? And just going forward into the future within a established narrative doesn't take you out of the constraints per se. But yeah, it would have been better if Star Trek Discovery had put itself in a future time beyond the previous Star Trek shows, rather than going into prequel territory, because they did a survey and discovered that, hey, old Star Trek was really popular in merchandise, so let's try to plow that instead of making our own Star Trek. Well, now no one likes Star Trek. No. But still, there is some amount of constraints with canon, but you could have, a lot of the different things, like the weird-looking Klingons, well, look, it's in the distant future and things have changed. And that could have been an interesting take on it and all that sort of stuff. The look, the uniforms, the technology, all of that would have fit. It still would have been a bad show because, again, they didn't even know how to maintain their own continuity from one episode to the next. It was really, really bad. So there was never any hope. But, yeah, still would have been better and wouldn't have been as damaging by saying, oh, no, now you'll find out what happened before Kirk took command of the Enterprise. Yeah, that was all BS. Anyway, Star Trek Discovery's second season ended with the crew of the USS Discovery jumping 930 years into the future. It was a blind leap into the unknown, with no guarantee of safety or even sentient life. For the crew, that meant leaving behind friends and family nearly a millennia in the past. And it was all for nothing. They defeated the artificial intelligence that hadn't exactly become an artificial intelligence at the time, but wanted to, which means it already is. But they won. They defeated it. So they didn't have to go into the future, but they did anyway because, hey, we worked up all this stuff and we got a time-traveling Iron Man suit and a big old ship that we just got to keep secret for some reason. And we took off. So they did. Yeah, after, Spock admitted that Michael Burnham was everything to him and everything he is or will be, he owes to Michael Burnham. That was important. So whenever you see Spock and you think, wow, what a great character. Yeah, but Michael was better. That was your lesson. Anyway, for viewers, this might be the best thing that's happened to Discovery. You mean disappearing into a time vortex? Anyway, it premieres on Thursday on CBS All Access. Disclosure, CBS All Access is owned by Viacom CBS, which also owns CNET. I didn't know that. My God, I'm shocked. Well, that explains all of this, doesn't it? Anyway, but, nice of them to put that in there. The show has spent its first 2 seasons tiptoeing and contorting itself around different aspects of Trek lore. Did it? Tiptoe? Contort? Oh, well, there was some contorting. Yeah. So let's see. We dealt with Michael Burnham's relationship with foster brother Spock and Father Sarek. The question of bald Klingons, and why we had never heard of a super advanced starship able to teleport anywhere through a mycelial network of spores. They didn't deal with any of that. The Klingons shaved their heads when they're going to war. No. And the deal that with Spock having a foster sister, he just told everybody, let's lie and pretend she never existed. That was how they dealt with that massive plot hole that they foolishly put on themselves without thinking it through until at the end of 2 seasons. And obviously at the last, damn, we never explained how come she never mentions her. It's like a secret in the Federation. So Spock says, hey, let's just never mention her or the starship's discovery ever again, and everybody will forget. Yeah, you see, in the second episode of Star Trek Discovery, even convicts knew who she was because she had become rather infamous as the second officer who caused the war between the Federation and the Klingons. So, nah, that wasn't gonna work. I don't know. Plus, Harry Mudd met her. Is he keeping the secret when he shows up? I guess he did. Him and Spock must have looked at each other. You know, he's like, where's your sister, Spock? Shh, Harry, come on now. Oh, okay, I won't mention it. Yeah, they did a great job, contorting and tiptoeing through Star Trek lore. Yeah. So, the writer says, and while Discovery did an okay job, well, there you go, of getting Discovery to fit into canon, it was all a little exhausting, was it? Yeah, it's kind of hard to say, well, Spock just lied. Anyway, so this time a jump past any established canon is so exciting. But it's still the origin point of even this series. Just because they jumped into the future doesn't really matter. But it just points out where, yeah, you probably should have started off in the distant future to begin with and forget about, Spock's sister and all of that. I suppose you could have made her a Vulcan, and she could have been a distant descendant of Spock's family. There you go. That would have been your connection. But no, you wanted to say it was a prequel that's important to the original series so it could glom on to merchandise sales of classic Star Trek. Yeah, it wasn't going to work. And it didn't. It sure didn't. Now Star Trek's in the toilet. Yeah. Anyway, it gives Discovery a breath of fresh air and a chance to tell completely new stories. The trailers tease a Federation that is greatly diminished, a completely different dynamic from previous shows. Nah, not really. Federation came off as a pile of crap in this and Picard. Yeah. Anyway, where the galaxy-spanning alliance has always served as the foundation of creator Gene Roddenberry's vision of a better future. Well, not anymore. It has been very freeing, Discovery executive producer, co-showrunner Michelle Paradise said in an interview last week. The world that they come into is very, very different than the one that they left. Yeah, well, you can say it a million times, but whatever. But jumping ahead so far doesn't mean the writers are throwing canon and what's come out before out the window, because they've already done that. We're not just sticking things into a blender and tossing them all over the place. Well, maybe you should try that. It might work. We've been really thoughtful about it. No, I'm sorry, Miss Paradise. Now, look, she came in a little late with season 2, but so this is really all her baby now for season 3, apparently. But I didn't see any improvement. Why the Federation has fallen so far? Well, Secret Hideout and Kurtzman took over. And the work to build it back up makes up the spine of Discovery's 3rd season. Yeah, that's the ongoing mystery box. What happened to the Federation? And I think we saw plot points in Picard, didn't we? Or didn't. It maybe not. Whatever. It doesn't matter. So, when last we left the crew, the Discovery had followed Burnham, donning the Red Angel Iron Man suit that she stole from Stark Industries, leading the ship into the future, part of a complicated time loop that was supposed to prevent the end of all sentient life by malicious artificial intelligence called Control, and which they defeated and didn't have to jump into the future. But, well, they did anyway. Season 3 will pick up immediately after, with Discovery and Burnham jumping into the future, and specifically for Burnham, into the ship of Cleveland Booker. Booker. What? Okay. I guess they just call him Book. He's a new character played by David Ajaya. I guess that's Ajaya, who serves as a guide for Burnham and the rest of the crew, including Commander. Yeah, the whole crew back together again from Discovery, except for, what's his name, the half Klingon, half human guy. And what's her face? Oh God, the terrible character, Georgiou. Yeah. Well, she's supposed to spin off in her own show, but good luck for that happening. Anyway, Cleveland Booker is a character that's going to bring levity, fun, and a different spontaneous dynamic to the franchise, which we may not have had before. Well, they've tried, but maybe it'll work out. Ajala? I thought it was Ajaya. Okay, Ajala said in an interview last week, he said that the character would bring out a new side to Burnham, teasing a bit of mischief in the process. So in other words, they're going to be a romantic couple. So there you go. That'll be another thing going, will they or won't they, huh? I mean, her half Klingon, half human boyfriend is in the past and long dead, so hey, come on. What's she supposed to do? So Ajala said he was excited about the new kinds of technology he and the rest of the cast get to play with, considering how far-flung in the future they are. He talked about an energy gun glimpse into the trailer called Talawa, Jamaican Patoy for mighty. Well, there you go. It's a mighty gun that gives audiences a sense of advanced technology and just how different everything is now. Yeah, you know, since he's supposed to bring the levity and stuff, he'll probably outshine Burnham just like Captain Pike did. And then people will be thinking, hey, how come it isn't about him now? Why isn't he the star of the show? Well, he's a man. He may be a man of color, but he's still a man. So, yeah, you can't have that. Anyway, Paradise, now the showrunner, not the actual heavenly celestial place where we all go if we're good, also teased familiar species would show up, even if Discovery's relationship with them would be shaken up. Species we know from the past. Yeah, because, you know, you got to remind people, remember, this is supposed to be Star Trek. So they're like, oh, look, Romulans or something. Anyway, maybe we interact with them differently, she said. Alliances have shifted. She says maybe, because even now she's like, maybe, I don't know. While the trailers suggest an even darker tone to a show that already flirted with a lot of grit in its first 2 seasons. Yeah. Paradise said that ultimately the show remains true to the spirit of Star Trek. Well, that'll be a first. Yeah. Our heroes are uniquely poised to help bring that kind of hope and bring that kind of optimism into this new future and inspire others around them. Now, again, that'll be a first. Paradise notes that this season of Discovery deals with connection and disconnection, themes that we're all wrestling with thanks to the global pandemic. Yeah. Come on. Now it's going to resonate. So, hey, if you're feeling a little bad about Star Trek Discovery, give it a chance now, because it's going to remind you about the pandemic lockdown. Oh, boy, that's what I want to escape to. Oh, man, don't you have anything? You know, can't you find someone with some ideas and organic science fiction ideas and stuff like that, instead of trying to think of what bull crap you can do in an interview that says, look, it will relate to you. And yeah. Well, Discovery embraced diversity from the get-go. It was no, it embraced superficial diversity. Everything is nothing but skin and genitals and who you want to hook up with. That's it. That's all you are. That's all you'll ever be. It's a terrible message. It's just terrible. So, from the get-go was the first Star Trek series to feature a gay couple. I don't think that's exactly true. But anyway, Stamets and Culber. Now, I will give them this. Although I cannot stand Wilson Cruz. I think the man is a total bigot. Anthony Rapp I don't have a problem with. But their performance I believe they're married on this, but as a couple, was probably the most credible relationship on the show. I mean, it started out kind of stupid at first, but then they just came across as believable. And then all of a sudden they killed Dr. Culber, and now his mycelial clone has replaced him. Yeah, because look, you follow the show if you can stomach the rewatching it. The original Dr. Culber's dead. That's his clone. That's not him. But it's all Stamets got, so yeah, poor bastard. Anyway, yeah, even though they usually with those is just virtue signaling and whatnot, but they seem to handle it that way, but that's about it. It's not much, and the show is just terrible. So there you go for that. The push for more representation continues this coming season with a few more characters. The first is Adrian, a non-binary played by Blue Del Barrio, who's also non-binary in real life. Well, you'd better be. because those are the rules. Yeah, actors, you're only able to act who you are. That's it. I don't know how you cast the aliens. I really don't. That's going to be a problem if we ever make contact with alien life. Then the second, a transgender character, named anyway, the name's Gray, played by Ian Alexander, who is the first out transgender Asian American to appear in a TV series. Well, boy, you got a lot of checklists there, mate. But so I guess Ian Alexander was born female and now identifies as male, and the character of Gray will be that as well, because you can't be playing a male identifying as female. No. You have to be what you are. That's it. You get out of those lines, you're fired. But, you know, everything is kind of up in the air, isn't it? Because it's all gray. Yeah, so anyway, there you go. Make sure that's the most important part. As to what they're doing and where they're going. Well, the Federation is either, you know, diminished, destroyed, or it's become an evil empire. Some crap like that. Whatever, it doesn't matter. And they're all on the run, and they're going to be doing more like Star Wars and Guardians of the Galaxy rip-off stories. And they're not really thinking it through. But hey, you can't criticize the show, because if you do, well then, let's see, go through the list again. Racist, sexist, homophobic, and yeah, transphobic. There you go. So that's what you are if you do not watch this show. So that's why people got to watch. So what a great plan. Boy, that's going to work, huh? That'll get people to sign up. Ajala, who concedes he wasn't a Star Trek fan, well, that's okay, Ajala, because neither are the showrunners. Aren't the producers? None of them, no, they don't know anything about it. Anyway, he wasn't a fan before joining the cast. Said he was still struck with the legacy of diversity left by the franchise. Yeah, it was diverse from the beginning, and not superficially. They just did it, you know. You had this diverse cast on there, and they didn't sit around kissing each other's ass over and over about it. They actually had plot and stories and adventures to deal with. Unfortunately, Discovery doesn't. So he says, Star Trek for me, and I'm sure for many other people, has always been at the forefront of normalizing diversity. Well, that's how you do it. You just treat it as normal, because it is. For Paradise, it was as important as staying faithful to Star Trek's long-established lore. So again, now you're going to get to it. Well, at the same time saying, well, in the future, we don't have to worry about that pesky canon. So, you know, Star Trek has always valued diversity. Here we go again. Yeah, so that's it. They're just patting themselves on the back for diversity and whatnot. And that makes everything great, no matter how bad the show is. So we're making sure we're honoring Gene Roddenberry. No, I don't think so. So anyway, that's there you go. This is, of course, even got to give him credit. He did put in the line that CNET is owned by the same company. So yeah, he's admitting this is a shill article, but it's just kind of funny to read something that stupid and stuff that's just not really that true. But there you go. Hey, look, this new guy, hey, he's an actor. He needs work. He got hired to do it. He's got to promote it. I don't blame any of the actors, really. Don't like Wilson Cruz for his attitude about a lot of things. But other than that, they're not to blame. It's people like Kurtzman and the like who lie all the time and put in lazy, sloppy, ripped-off plots and trash a once great franchise. And that's why it's just in the dumpster now. And no one is interested in it anymore. And it's sad. And it's really sad because when Star Trek Discovery started out, you could see the spectacular special effects and see that budget. And the idea that we almost got a Star Trek series with that type of budget, what could have been done had it actually had decent science fiction authors in there, people who cared about Star Trek and understood it, and that sort of thing. Even with this cast, could have made a pretty good show. Didn't happen. No. Just a bunch of lazy hacks, really. Anyway, there you go. Third season. You can watch it if you want, but I won't be joining you.
Alright, thank you for watching and listening. Why not like and subscribe, and check out that link description below. That'll take you to my mini stores and have plenty of goodies for you. You know, hats, mugs, stickers, posters, all that goody stuff. Plus, you can head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book Night Night. Oh, yeah. Plus, you can also catch my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, over at RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on my channel at BitChute. That's the Mr Nailsin channel on BitChute.com.